everyone. Not gonna lie, it's both strange, tense, and a little bit relaxing, maybe in some sense, to be talking to you from this gray void that I'm in right now. On the one hand, I can't see your reaction, can't feed off your energy, and can't understand if my talk resonates with you or not. But on the other hand, I'm in my comfortable chair and in my house. For all you know, I might not be even wearing any pants, and you wouldn't notice, but I am, and I hope you are too. But nevertheless, a strange situation, but I hope that we will get as much value as we can from it. And let me start by first introducing myself. My name is Aidis Dalikas. And today I'll be talking about why you don't necessarily need a digital agency. By digital agency, I mean basically every niche player that is manageable and manageable, and why you don't need all the fragmentation that is so prevalent in the market today. First of all, a little bit about myself. Around 10 years ago, I started freelancing as a Facebook marketing consultant, which then meant simply creating posts, funny memes for brands on Facebook and connecting them with their consumers. Then a little bit later after that, me and my partner Aidis established an agency, which was a Facebook marketing agency, which rather quickly became larger and larger, and started doing Facebook media, then started doing international media and media planning, content creation, creative services, and so on and so forth. And now we operate in 3 markets, in Vilnius, Tallinn, and Riga, by offering our clients basically various services from the basic conception of an idea down to the very execution of the most mundane tasks. Around 3 years ago, we joined the Havas global network of agencies, and this has let me take a bit of a maybe further out view of the market and see how things are going, not only in the Baltic market, but also on the global level. And the fragmentation that started with the beginning of the internet era and social Web 2.0 and so on and so forth, I kind of thought, frankly, that it would end by now, and things would come back to some sort of clusters more around specific services than around specific channels. But actually, the market still is as fragmented as ever, and going in the direction of fragmentation even more. As you might have noticed, I am not a fan of the situation. I don't think that this is very valuable to the clients and very valuable to the agencies themselves. And the reasons for that are a couple. First of all this fragmentation of different agencies responsible for different pieces of the puzzle results in, of course, division of responsibility as well. And with it, there's a complete reduction of effectiveness. None of the various agencies that are involved in the process, none of them have the complete control of it, of course. And none of them have the control of the final product, which one of the agencies might think about the creative concept. Another agency might think about how to adapt it for different social media channels. One more might think about, optimizing the CPMs and so on and so forth. And once there is, a need to come together, most of the agencies tend to think about the project in terms of possible budgets they can acquire, and the client gets separate chunks of the same product from different vendors, basically, instead of having a partner or different partners who have a well thought through strategy and deliver from the beginning to the end. And secondly, all this division of labor leads, of course, to great complication and reduced accountability between agencies. So it's a very bad trend for clients. Once we have creative and digital creative and media and paid social or even social performance, there appears countless possibilities to just shed responsibility and point fingers at one another once things go wrong, and take unnecessary pride in oneself once things go right. And the client has virtually no means of checking the agencies and actually identifying the ones that are responsible for one thing or another, because they basically share the same journey in different stages, and identifying what went wrong is very, very hard. So everybody loses in the situation. Clients are stuck babysitting various agencies, trying to make them work as well as understand if they are qualified enough to cover everything, and the clients are constantly thinking if there's one more partner that they should bring in, and try to introduce one more channel to the mix. So introducing one more agency to the mix. Maybe they need more of a performance agency instead of only a digital content agency, and so on and so forth. So it's a cluster duck for the clients, and agencies lose in the long term, course, because they become, instead of being partners for the clients, they become simple suppliers of a service, of a very simple, very narrow service, which can be very quickly replaced. And the main, driving force between choosing one agency or another becomes price, instead of just having evaluating them on actual business results that they help create. So what do we do? The answer is very simple in the broadest of senses, but very hard to execute. Possibly very hard to execute. Reintegrating the knowledge, and reintegrating the process back to its sane beginnings. Starting bringing the different elements back, so that the necessary complication is completely eliminated. Agencies should demand, of course, more responsibility, first of all, and the clients should demand more accountability from the agencies that demand. So if you say that you're deliver, please show me how, and prove it after you have delivered. There shouldn't be a division between analog and digital, just like there shouldn't be a division between TV and print, for example. This process, I think, will unravel in the following years, and the corona crisis will definitely speed things up, because now blurring between digital and traditional and various digital channels and various business ways of and means of doing business are very blurring. The lines are completely disappearing in some cases. So after a few years, I think the clients and agencies will have taken a few different approaches on how to solve this, because the problem is there, and even if they don't recognize it, maybe right now, they can feel it. And the ways that they will try and solve this problem, I think, will greatly differ in some cases, and place them in some different buckets that I so very subtly called winners and losers. So on the client side, the winners who manage to get the most value out of their relationship with agencies will either be the ones that are competent enough to be a coach for a team of different agencies and manage to pull them together as a team, dividing their responsibilities according to their strengths, evaluating their performance in terms of value created, and not just some, vanity metrics and demanding accountability, of course, when the value is achieved, or the ones that knowing that they lack certain competencies and or want an agency who could be responsible and accountable for the whole picture instead of a small part of it. Choose a partner who can deliver competently and with no excuses. The value, that is expected of it. And the losers among clients will basically be the ones that are take a completely different approach, the completely opposite approach. The ones that continue today's prevailing trends and have multiple briefs for the same campaign, set the goals that are platform specific instead of business results oriented, and evaluate an agency's performances without accounting for their attribution to the end goal. These clients will end up with a lot of different suppliers of different services who will either strive to create award-winning campaigns or strive to maximize the CPM of the of a certain channel, or increase the engagement on social by posting memes and buying followers and asking dumb questions on a client's Facebook page. And among the agencies, the winners and the ones that thrive instead of just exist after in the next 5 years will be the ones that identify basically important areas of growth and invest in them instead of trying to stick to the status quo of the madman era or however you call it, and the ones that don't differentiate services based on what type of medium they're on, but instead the winner agencies of the future, if you want to call them that, will look at the importance of those services to the client's bottom line and see what is needed and what is not. For niche specific agencies, small, very, very channel specific agencies, that might mean that they have to invest into more creative and strategy teams who can, join things together and present a final solution to the client instead of just, one piece of the puzzle. And for the big agencies, traditional agencies, that might mean investing into some very specific knowledge about certain new or prevailing trends or channels that they lack expertise on, and instead of just outsourcing it, they might want to invest into people who are experts in the field and can provide value from the very beginning in the brief process. Either way, the ones who manage to come to the middle ground between the concept and the execution and provide the client with a full service approach will prevail, in my view. And the losers among agencies, and I'm going to a very quick end of my talk already, the losers will be especially visible between the big arrogant players who still rely on outsourcing everything and especially outsourcing knowledge, and don't pay as much attention to the new media channels and to social media and to digital and so on and so forth, and just think that the big idea can carry itself, and the execution and the adaptation of the big idea might or can be left to other agencies or other experts who will come in later, because that will not create as much value for the clients as the clients might want, and that will of course diminish the role of the big large players who don't invest in small but very necessary things in the long term. In the short term, that might be more expensive, and that is what's driving or stopping the integration process right now, because it's an investment heavy process, and not everybody wants to do that, especially when it hurts them in the short term. But in the long term, in my view, it's crucial. So to sum up, you don't need digital agency. You don't need it, especially now when everything is basically digital. So it kind of makes no sense calling something digital when we're doing everything in the digital sphere, basically. You don't need a performance agency that takes care of certain channels, because all marketing should be performance marketing. Everything should be valued and measured, and everything should be evaluated based on its performance. So again, this is an oxymoron. Performance agency. What? So that means that other agencies don't care about performance. I don't think that should be the case. And you, what you basically need, instead of trying to find specific channel agencies or specific channel providers, is you need an advertising agency who can provide all the elements of a campaign, or or solve your problem in a way that increases your business results, instead of focusing on some vanity metric or a very channel specific metric, which, let's be honest, doesn't mean anything to the client if it doesn't affect the bottom line. I think I made my point. I hope you agree with me. If you don't, contact me on any social channels, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. You can just search my name, or come to www.soma.agency and let's talk more. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was nice and interesting for you, and I hope you have a very interesting and great day ahead. Thank you.